Hey, welcome back. आज हम रीड करने वाले हैं चैप्टर नंबर 4 के बारे में. Yesterday we read about the chapter number 3, that is the what? The richest man in Babylon. And that we learn from that chapter is a part of all you learn is yours to keep. अब जितने भी यर्न किए हो वो आपके दायित्व है कि भाई उसे आप साइड सजा के रखना. ओके, नेक्स्ट सेकंड चैप्टर थर्ड चैप्टर है आज. भाई ये बहुत ज़्यादा बड़ी है, तो बहुत ज़्यादा बड़ा है इस चैप्टर में. तो मैंने यहाँ पर ओके 7 क्योर्स फॉर ए लीन पोर्स. ओके, मैं इस चैप्टर का मैं पार्ट 1 पार्ट 2 ऐसे करके बनाऊंगा. ने आज मैंने फर्स्ट क्योर को हम रीड करेंगे, उसके बाद कल हम 2 पार्ट को रीड करेंगे. 7 क्योर से 2 क्योर को हम रीड करने वाले हैं. तो ऐसे होगा तो भाई अच्छा, मेरे लिए भी अच्छा होगा, तुम्हारे लिए भी अच्छा होगा कि भाई आप ज़्यादा टाइम वेस्ट मत करना कहीं पे, जो ज़्यादा शॉर्ट टाइम में भी आपको भी ये हो जाएगा. तो बिना देर के हम स्टार्ट करते हैं. 7 cures for a lean force. The glory of Babylon endures down through the ages. Its reputation comes to us as the richest of cities, its treasures as fabulous. Yet it was not always so. The riches of Babylon were the results of the wisdom of its people. They first had to learn how to become wealthy. When the good king Sargon returned to Babylon after defeating his enemies, the Elamites, he was confronted with a serious situation. The royal chancellor explained it to the king's thoughts. After many years of great prosperity brought to our people because your majesty built the great irrigation canals and the mighty temples of the gods. Now that these works are completed, the people seem unable to support themselves. The laborers are without employment. The merchants have few customers. The farmers are unable to sell their produce. The people have not enough gold to buy food. But where has all the good gone that we spent for these great improvements? Demanded the king. It has founded its way, I fear, responded the chancellor, into the profession of few very rich men of our city. It filtered through the fingers of most our people as quickly as the goat's milk goes through the strainer. Now that the stream of gold has ceased to flow, most of our people have nothing to show for their earnings. The king was thoughtful for some time. Then he asked, why should so few men be able to acquire all the gold? Because they know how, replied the chancellor. One may not condemn a man for succeeding because he knows how. Neither may one with justice take away from a man what he has fairly earned to give to men of less ability. But why? Demanded the king. Should not all the people learn how to accumulate gold and therefore become themselves rich and prosperous? Quite possible, Your Excellency, but who can teach them? Certainly not the priests, because they know not of money making. Who knows best in all our city how to become wealthy? Chancellor asked the king. The question answers itself, Your Majesty, who has amassed the greatest wealth in Babylon. Well, said my able chancellor, it is Arcad. He is the richest man in Babylon. Bring him before me on the morrow. Upon the following day, as the king had decreed, Arcad appeared before him, straight and sprightly, despite his 6 and 10. Arcad spoke the king, is it true thou art the richest man in Babylon? So it is reported, Your Majesty, and no man disputes it. How becomest thou so wealthy? By taking advantage of opportunities available to all citizens of our good city. Thou hadst nothing to start with, only a great desire for wealth. Besides this, nothing. Archer, continued the king, our city is in a very unhappy state because a few men know how to acquire wealth and therefore monopolize it, while the mass of our citizens lack the knowledge of how to keep any part of the gold they receive. It is my desire that Babylon be the wealthiest city in the world. Therefore, it must be a city of many wealthy men. Therefore, we must teach all the people how to acquire riches. Tell me, Arcot, is there any secret to acquiring wealth? Can it be taught? It is practical, Your Majesty, that which one man knows can be taught to others. The king's eyes glowed. Arcad, thou speakest the words I wish to hear. Wilt thou lend them thyself to this great cause? Wilt thou teach their knowledge to a school for teachers, each of whom shall teach others, until there are enough trained to teach these truths to every worthy subject in my domain? Arcad bowed and said, I am the humble servant to command. Whatever knowledge I possess, will I gladly give for the betterment of my fellow men and the glory of my king. Let your good chancellor arrange for me a class of 100 men, and I will teach to them those 7 cures which did fatten my force, than which there was none leaner in all Babylon. A fortnight later, in compliance with the king's command, the chosen 100 assembled in the great hall of the temple of learning, seated upon colorful rings in a semicircle. Arcad sat beside a small tabouret upon which smoked a sacred lamp, sending forth a strange and pleasing odor. Behold, the richest man in Babylon, whispered a student, nudging his neighbor as Arcad arose. He is but a man, even as the rest of us. As a dutiful subject of our great king, Arcad began, I stand before you in his service because once I was a poor youth who did greatly desire gold, and because I found knowledge that enabled me to acquire it, he asks that I impart unto you my knowledge. I started my fortune in the humblest way. I had no advantage, no enjoyed as fully by you and every citizen in Babylon. The first storehouse of my treasure was a well force I loathed its useless emptiness. I desired it to be round and full, clinking with the sound of gold. Therefore, I sought every remedy for a lean force. I found seven to you who are assembled before me. Shall I explain the seven cures for a lean force, which I do recommend to all men who desire much gold? Each day for 7 days will I explain to you one of the seven remedies. Listen attentively to the knowledge that I will impart, debate it with me, discuss it among yourselves. Learn these lessons thoroughly, that ye may also plant in your own pores the seed of wealth. First, must each of you start wisely to build a fortune of his own. Then wilt thou be competent, and only then to teach these truths to others. I shall teach to you in simple ways how to fatten your purses. This is the first step leading to the temple of wealth, and no man may climb who cannot plant his feet firmly upon the first step. We shall now consider the first cure. The first cure. Start the force to fattening. Arkad addressed a thoughtful man in a second row. My good friend, at what craft workest thou? I replied, the man. Am a scribe and carve records upon the clay tablets. Even at such labor did I myself earn my first coppers. Therefore, thou hast the same opportunity to wield a fortune. He spoke to a florid faced man further back. Pray tell also, what dost thou to earn the bread? I responded, this man. I'm a butcher. I do buy the goats, the farmers rise and kill them and sell the meat to the housewives and the hides to the sandal makers, because thou dost also the labor and yearn. Thou hast every advantage to succeed that I did possess. In this way did Arkad proceed to find out how each man labored to earn his living. When he had done questioning, then he said, now, my students, you can see that there are many trades and the labors at which men may earn coins. Each of the ways of earning is a stream of gold from which the worker doth divert by his labors a portion to his own purse. Therefore, into the purse of each of you flows a stream of coins, large or small according to his ability. Is it not so? Thereupon they agreed that it was so. Then continued Arkad, if each of you desireth to build for himself a fortune, is it not wise to start by utilizing that source of wealth which he already has established? To this they agreed. Then Arkad turned to a humble man who had declared himself an egg merchant. If thou select one of the baskets and put into it each morning 10 eggs, and take out from it each evening 9 eggs, what will eventually happen? It will become in time overflowing. Why? Because each day I put in one more egg than I take out. Archer turned to class with a smile. Does any man? here have to a lean force. First they looked amused, then they laughed, lastly they waved their forces in jest. All right, he continued. Now I shall tell thee the first remedy I learned to cure a lean horse. Do exactly as I have suggested to the egg merchant. For every 10 coins thou placest within the force take out for use but 9. The force will start to fatten at once, and its increasing weight will feel good in the hand and brings satisfaction to the soul. Deride not what I say, because it is simplicity. Truth is always simple. I told that I would tell how I build my fortune. This was my beginning. I too carried a lean force and cursed it because there was not within to satisfy my desires. But when I began to take out from my force but 9 parts of 10 I put in, I began to fatten. So will thin. Now I will tell a strange truth, the reason for which I know not. When I cease to pay out more than 9/10 of my earnings, I managed to get along just as well. I was not shorter than before. Also, year-long did coins comes to me more easily than before. Surely it is a law of God's that unto him who keepeth and spendeth not a certain part of all his earnings shall gold come more easily. Likewise, him whose purse is empty does gold avoid. Which desirest thou the most? Is it the gratification of the desires of each day? A jeweler, a jeweler's, a bit of finery, better raiment, more food, things quickly gone and forgotten, or it is substantial belongings, gold, lands, herds, merchandise, income bringing investments. The coins thou takest from the force bring the first. The coin thou livest within it will bring the latter. This, my students, was the first cure I did discover for my lean force. For each 10 coins I put in to spend but 9. Divide this amongst yourselves. If any man proves it untrue, tell me upon the tomorrow when I shall meet again. Okay, this is the first cure of the uh, from the 7 cures of a lean force. Okay, and next we see the second cures, third cure, and sixth cure, seventh cure. Okay, okay, what the first cure scene says, that is, uh, if suppose you earn 100 rupees, so you spend 90 rupees from them and 10 rupees you have to save for you. Okay, that is the first cure of the lean force. And thank you. See you next video. Or this is अभी evening हो रहे हैं. आज today is 24th of September 2024 and हमारा एग्ज़ाम है मिड सेमिस्टर. मेरा अभी फिफ्थ सेमिस्टर है. फिफ्थ मिड सेमिस्टर, fifth mid semester that held starts from 4 October. एंड कोई बात नहीं, इसके लिए भी हम तैयार हैं एंड आई एम हैप्पी. एंड अभी थोड़ा बाहर घूमने चलेंगे इसके बाद, वीडियो के रिकॉर्ड होने के बाद. ओके, बाय.